Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and hope you have a great and wonderful day. And unfortunately for us, we have to be disappointed because apparently being fat and overweight, yes, you can't do this now. You are now officially. If you make fun of these people or discriminate against them for whatever apparent reason, you will now be put into jail for discriminating against them. Yes, that's right. Your height and weight you can be put in jail for just discriminating against them, which I don't know how they're going to do this at all, but that's what's happening. We have this. In New York City, law banning discrimination based on height and weight goes into effect. A new city law that bans discriminating against someone because of their weight or height went into effect last week, 6 months after Mayor Eric Adams first signed the legislation. The law adds those two categories to the list of characteristics that are protected from housing, job, and public discrimination, alongside things like age, gender, race, religion, and sexual orientation. All New Yorkers, regardless of their body shape or size, deserve to be protected from discrimination under the law. NYC City Council Speaker Adrian Adams and Councilman Sean Burrow said in a joint statement Sunday. Body discrimination affects millions of people every year, contributing to harmful disparities in medical treatment and outcomes, blocking people from access to opportunities in employment, housing, and public accommodations, and deepening existing injustices that people face, and the statement added. New York City is leading the nation with this groundbreaking anti-discrimination law. Really? Is it now? The city council approved the bill back in May. Mayor Adams signed it into law the same month, saying that the heavier people should not be treated differently when they're applying for a job, the Times said. Science has shown that body type is a connection to if you're healthy or unhealthy, said Adams, who authored a 2020 book about losing 35 pounds. I think that's a misnomer that we're really dispelling. At a city council hearing earlier this year, several New Yorkers testified about the deleterious effects weight discrimination had upon them, the newspaper said. For instance, on NYU, students said classroom desks were too small for her, while Metro Opera singer said she'd been body shamed and had nearly developed an eating disorder. I think this person already had an eating disorder, despite the fact they were, besides the fact that, she was overweight. A lawmaker in New Jersey and Massachusetts are considering similar measures, which places like Michigan and Washington State have already enacted discrimination bans. A brew who responded to the NYC bill said it was to raise awareness and protect people against employer bias. It's also about changing the culture and how we think about weight, said the councilman, who told the Times that he himself was treated differently after he gained weight during the pandemic. Okay, so let me weigh my opinions on this, because these laws are incredibly stupid. First off, this is going to destroy the dating market in itself, right? Men are not going to, women are going to be way more choosy and pickier in New York. People are going to, work is going to have a massive problem. We're going to have more people getting injured. We're going to have more people, honestly, suffer severe consequences, because there are jobs that overweight people cannot do. It's not good, like unfair rides or what have you. So you're going to say that during a fair or what have you, or any of that matter, for that matter, is that like if they're too heavy for the ride, you have to allow them on the ride, risking other people's lives, because we have to cater to people that are being unhealthy and hurting them, which is going to add another thing to the mix. So now, since you can't discriminate against people because they're being unhealthy and they're overweight, that would also mean that the doctors can't tell them, hey, you're overweight, hey, you can't take this, hey, you can't take that. So are we just going to sacrifice the overweight people? Because there are some drugs that overweight people can't take. Like obviously, when there are certain drugs that you can only take at certain weights, because people can take more or less depending on weight. And you're saying that the doctors now cannot do this because people are afraid of, like, oh, well, I'm overweight or whatever. Or, like, you want them to be put on these very expensive UI machines or what have you that can't contain their weight. They're literally too heavy. So when a fat person goes and says, oh, well, I don't want to use that machine, I want to be put on the regular machine. Well, you can't go on the regular machine because you're too fat to be put on the machine. You will break it because you're too heavy. The fact that this law is even going into effect is insanity, but I can't wait. I can't wait because this is going to be absolutely hilarious. This is not going to go well for anybody involved. It will destroy the dating market entirely. Men are not going to go after any women in New York City at all because obviously it's not going to go well at all. So that dating market is completely destroyed. And then we have anything else that would be very weight specific, that you can't be in certain jobs because it could be a danger to you or other people. That's also going to be a problem. And I don't know what about the height thing. I don't have much to say on the height thing because, well, what is that even supposed to do? Exactly. I don't see how the height is an issue here. Obviously, there are going to be some jobs to where you have to maybe have to be required a certain height to do these things, which is not many. This is a horrible, terrible law. I do not see how this is even remotely going to be good at all, period. Notice how majority of the people that are there are women that are doing this type of stuff. So this person is obviously going to die from being overweight in a very few years because obviously you're not supposed to be this overweight and what have you. The fact that this is a huge thing that's going on here in New York, it's just a dystopian nightmare, man. So many people are going to get injured. So many people are going to get... it's going to destroy the dating market. It's going to do a lot of the negative things. More people are going to die due to the fact that people are not going to be treated correctly because they're overweight or etc. It has so many negatives to this. And this woman right here, has single-handedly destroyed the dating market. So, yeah. Good job on you guys. Good job on New York. I can't wait to see the collapse of your already collapsing city. And it's just a matter of time. Alright, guys. That's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.